So many great people and doing so many great things. And we're going to do that tonight. But before we do, we're going to hear from the person that I think, if you haven't noticed, that in many ways this party was for her, right? And last night she was known as DJ Sparkles. Wheels of Steel. And hey, today, this morning, giving it her all in those sit-outs, crushing it the whole hour through. And tonight, she's going to be here to talk to us, you know, and with a message that she has for all of us. And she's going to kick it off before we get into that. And so what I'm saying is I want to make sure. And hey, here's, like I said, guys, we have professional people taping this right now. We got professional people taping this that I want to make sure we're present. Right? Because if you're staring through a phone right now and worrying about if you're getting the stuff right, you're going to miss it. Right? That's what this weekend is about. We don't miss it. And this one's important. Right? So, like, guys, we got it. I got it. I got 2 photographers on this one. So what I'm saying is I want your energy, like, back to where you used to be. Like, man, listening and get the message, because I'm sure we're going to get one tonight. Right? And I can't wait to hear it. So before she does it, everybody give the biggest Training for Warriors welcome we could possibly give for Alicia!
Because we did kind of, have a nice party last night. Oh, yeah. And, yeah, we did. And plus, when Martin does an introduction like that, and, this weekend meant everything to me. I wasn't supposed to cry yet. We knew you could. Yeah. So, I'm gonna basically talk about attitude. But before I get to that, a lot of you guys have followed maybe my story. Know that I've been battling the last couple years, and I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I'm going to talk about more so the last 6 months.
You just keep on talking.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
More like the last 6 months, because that's probably been the biggest game changer for me, and for me to be able to sit up here and talk about attitude, to where I've been those last 6 months. I've gotten scan after scan. And I feel like I've gotten blow after blow. Just hoping that things would get under control and that I could say, I'm getting better. And it hasn't been that way. And I've always been the one, no matter what it be, I've always been the one that's, the biggest cheerleader. I'm your biggest fan. I'm loyal, and I'm just showing the girls in the world that, no matter what you get, you can just do anything. And with these blows, I started noticing, I started becoming a little more depressed. I wasn't believing what I was telling the world. And it's something, listening to all the Student of the Year, nominees this weekend, and it was, living that other double life, but nobody knew it was a double life because that's what I was before. Just wasn't believing in myself. And then one day I was in bed, nothing fancy, guys, right? And I hit probably my lowest point right before I'd gotten scanned, and I was in the worst pain I can possibly imagine, to where I woke up my husband, where I'm pretty quiet, woke him up, and I told him that it was the first time I ever felt like I was actually dying. I felt like my body was winning in the sense that it was trying to take me down. And we went and got the scan, and things got worse. And at that moment when I was there and seeing his eyes, I knew at that point that it doesn't matter. Screw it, right? I need to change my attitude because that's not who I am. I'm not the person that sits and feels sorry for myself. And guys, when I post things, I'm not doing it to get pity from anybody because I don't want pity. It's not what I'm about. I was asking Amanda, I was so nervous about bringing this wheelchair. Let me tell you before I go into what I really want to talk about. Last night, I have always said I wanted to DJ like some kind of big party. and I was telling Martin I want to be the DJ. And the moment I felt tired and I sat down in that chair, I was not embarrassed. I didn't feel like anything. I got to sit and watch this party happen. And that moment, when we were singing that song, you guys coming over by me, just holding, I cried after that song. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't change my attitude. And the definition of attitude, guys, is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. So take that in. Because I've been one lately when I'm writing, in my journal, and I kind of try to pick a topic, and it's usually something that the girls will bring up. And it'll be like, attitude. Okay, I'm gonna reflect on it, and I'll go and I'll write the definition of that word and really break it down. And we're not just talking about your attitude. Look at the people that you hang out with and who's around you. Because I'll tell you this much, I've learned in the last couple of years where I really want to spend my time. Okay, your time is the most valuable thing you can give anyone. But it's also the most valuable thing that you can give yourself. Okay? So when I'm somewhere, that's where I want to be. And let me tell you, it was against the doctors. Had some talks with Mario, but I made sure I was here because setting this event is the one thing I know that kept me going this year. And I know next year is going to be the same thing. So positive attitude, guys, with everything. Even if you think it's the shittiest thing happening to you, it could be something worse for someone else. You got to reflect on why, maybe, Or instead of, I always like telling people, I have to do this, or I have to do this, or the kids this, or the kids that. I always say, I've got 4 healthy kids that drive me crazy sometimes. But you know what? They're healthy, and I've had friends close to me that have lost children. Okay, so when you've got those crazy kids and they're driving you crazy, give them your time, because it goes by quickly. You got to do it. You got to turn your halves into, just do it, guys. That's it. So this last year, with my attitude changing where it was before, I was telling Martin, this year since the last summit, and since kind of like even when we had the CERT, there was that like purpose, and what's your purpose and what's your mission? And I figured that out. So I know that no matter how much time I have left, I know what I'm living for every single day. And I'm making sure it's happening every single day. So you guys got to make sure you do that too. Have those values and look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, it's the best fucking day I ever had. Sorry. I'm serious, guys. You got to be able to look yourself in the eye and tell yourself you did everything you could today. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And I'll tell you this much. I'm living this weekend. And I'll tell you this much. When I go home, even if it's just being able to go take my kid to dance, I am living. If I say any more, I'm going to keep crying.
Alicia, you're my fucking hero.
Thank you guys for...
Everybody have a seat. Because, I think right here, guys, I'm about to give the most important speech I ever give in my whole damn life. Right here.
I can't wait to hear it.
Hey, guys, how Alicia and I met the first time. I was in Huntington Beach. I was all worn out, right? I was tired. I'm traveling a lot. I'm wiped. And Justin calls me up and says, man, Martin, you got to come out. You got to come out to this, like, Oktoberfest thing. And I said, well, why do I got to go out there? What do I got to go out there for? He goes, you'll see. Just come out. You got to meet somebody for me. You just got to meet this one person. Can you come? Right? Amanda's with me, and I'm like, man, I'm tired or whatever else. But we go. And we walk in, and people are dressed all like kind of Oktoberfest style. And this girl comes running up to me and like kind of jumps on me and is crying and hugging me and just saying these things. And I didn't know how to respond. So I just hugged her as long as I could until, she kind of took control of herself. And it was Alicia. No idea. And she went on to tell me her story, and that was a number of years ago. But that night had an effect on me. And it had an effect on me because I knew there was something special about her. Guys, I meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of people everywhere I go, but man, this one person, she stuck out in my head, and man, it was impossible not to like her right off the bat. And then you get to know her a little more, and it's impossible not to love her. And so that's how we met. And then I watched her develop as a coach, and I watched her develop as a leader, and I would watch these classes go on, and as I was watching it, and I would watch things with her health, and we talked a lot, and I would hear about how things were going, and I would start to say it's not fair. It's not fair. Like, this really great person, and she's so awesome. It's not fair. And I would have to talk to people about it. And I was reminded by somebody, they said, hey man, have you ever seen the Nazca lines in Peru? You ever see those? And I said, I don't know, I never saw them. I think I know what it is. What are you talking about? And he said, man, well, people for a long time, they just saw these rocks, these white rocks on the ground. They never knew what it was about. But when people got the ability to fly, when you started to get to fly, when you got to see things from a higher level, and you would look down, you would see how everything fit together and it would make sense. And I've been trying for a long time to make sense of it. And I think tonight, what I want to share with you, Alicia, is like the sense that I've made to it for this organization is you've given us some gifts, some huge gifts. And I want to say the three main ones, and she's already hinted at them. Number one, guys, everybody, if you learn any lesson, and we went over this weekend, you got to be present, man. You got to be right there. That's why it's phones down. Let's be here right now, right? I think we're missing that. Be here right now. And you know what else? Hey, guys, we just heard time is precious. Forget about the small shit that's bothering you. Right? Oh, this thing's annoying me. That thing's annoying me. Man, in the big picture, it's not that much. That's number one. And it's helped me out a lot because you know what? Like, sometimes the small stuff gets to me way too much. Number two, I learned the hardest thing to be when you grow up is to be yourself. And you know what? When I watch the tutus and the 80s workouts and the DJ Sparkles last night, I'll tell you what. You know who you're seeing? You're seeing her. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you this. Guys, adversity and the biggest challenges in your life, they're not things that bring you down. You know what they do? They reveal you. They're the greatest gift. And I'll tell you this right now, and I'm going to tell you, Alicia, you know what it is? When you stripped it all away and you took all the stuff away, you know what it revealed? A positive, super awesome person that everybody loves, right? That's number two. But number three, you know what you taught me the biggest lesson is about familia, about family. See, I don't know if you guys know, but we've had the opportunity the last few years to go to California, and our kids would all play together, and I would watch it on the beach, and I would imagine if, what if it was happening to me? And I would sit there, and we would just have such a great time. But I want you to know the biggest gift that you gave all of us She just said time is limited and everything counts. And I don't think any one of you guys had the revelation that I had last night. But she came to spend that time with us. And at first I felt guilty. I said it's not fair. Well, she should be home with her family and with her kids, with her family. And then I said, you know what? As I was drifting off to sleep and I couldn't sleep last night and she knew it, I said, she is with her family right now, man. She's with her family right here. And I learned family is about respect, it's about love, and it's about support. And now, Alicia, what I want to do is tell you what I learned about support. Last year we made a promise to everybody, right? I stood right here getting emotional just like I am right now. And Alicia told her story, and Todd told his story, Jerry told his story. I told you the story about my mom and how cancer, guys, it's been a thread, again, deep through. Everybody I've talked to, it hasn't not affected one of you. And I stood up on that stage right there and I said, next year we're going to do something about it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we're going to do something about it. And if you've seen this event, how hard we've planned, there was a plan that I was trying to put together, like, what are we going to do? I would talk to everybody, what are we going to do? Like, it's about cancer, we got to do something. How are we going to contribute? How are we going to bring everybody together? And somebody would come to me, there's this charity. Somebody would come to me, we got another charity. Hey, there's this thing, there's that thing. And everything that I would check into, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. And I was talking with a couple of guys, and then we got the idea. And I talked about the power of an idea. Right, that an idea can change everything. Like, you get this idea and it can change everything. And we talked about the power of idea and we got this idea. And then I started to share this idea. I had with everybody. And every single person I shared the idea with, it almost got stronger. Like, everybody I told, they would be like, this is an amazing idea. This is an incredible idea. And then I realized after all the research that we did, I had to share the idea with one more person. And it was, guys, one of the hardest phone calls I ever had to make. And so I had to call Mario. And I called up Mario and I said, hey, Mario, hey, I need your help on something here, man. Remember, I want to do something about cancer. We want to do something about cancer. And here's how I'm going to tell you how selfless Mario is. He said, oh, you want to do something about cancer? Hey, man, here's this charity we like, and here's this charity, and the girls donate their hair to this, and they do this, and they do that. And I said, no, Mario, no, man. No, Mario, I already got the idea, bro. I got the idea. I just need your help on something. And he said, what's the idea? And I was afraid to say it. But I said, hey, Mario, the idea is the entire Training for Warriors organization, what we're going to do is we're going to open up 4 529 college funds for the girls, and we're going to try to figure out how to raise some money for that. And guys, I was nervous. Her husband's a cop, right? And I was nervous about that because if somebody called me up and said that, I didn't know how maybe I would react. Maybe I'd say, hey, man, I got it, or I don't need your help. And I was really scared because he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything for about 3 or 4 minutes. And I've learned when somebody doesn't say anything, you don't say anything back. But finally, it grew so uncomfortable, and I was worried that maybe he wasn't even on the phone anymore. I said, hey, Mario, what do you think? Is that an okay idea? And Mario, he wasn't talking because he was crying. He wasn't talking because he was crying. And he said, Martin, I always knew what Training for Warriors was about, but now I really know. And he said, I'm so worried about Alicia that I don't get a lot of time to worry about the kids. But a little bit before I go to sleep at night, that's something I think about too, because I'll tell you this, guys, when it comes down to it, when you skin it all down, like, man, you're going to be worried about your kids. And then he said something that was really driving for me. He said, Martin, I don't care if you even raise $1, it's the thought that counts. And that was when the pressure got put right on my back, because you know what I said back? I said, dude, we're gonna raise more than $1. And so what I want you to know is, you know how you said, hey, I'm watching everybody do these charity events, and I'm seeing all those charity events. Well, every one of those charity events was, hey, God, this entire network and the rest of the network, every one of them was put on a team. We had Team Hailey, we had Team Emily, we had Team Libby, and we had Team Chloe. And everybody got together and they did these events and every week everybody would share your story, and here's where the nerves started happening. I didn't know what everybody was going to do because I didn't understand maybe the power of the network or not. But what I'm pretty proud to tell you is, and no one else knows this here either, that the Training for Warriors organization for the 4 girls right now, they've put in over $90,000. So, if there's one thing, hey, you know, that's one thing less you're not gonna have to hopefully worry about as much. But I want you to know, guys, that it was this entire organization, and it's the greatest project I've ever been part of. What you guys all put together. But what I want you to know is, hey, your whole family's behind you. And like we just heard right there, hey guys, is everybody expecting DJ Sparkles at next year's summit? So, we'll talk more about it after. So are you, hey, yeah, say something. No.
One of the things that I always think about, you know, one of the scariest things, and I think I even told Todd, is I'm not so worried about like what happens to me, you know, if something happens, what's gonna happen to me. I always think about what's gonna happen to those girls. How are they gonna feel when, you know, I'm not able to be at something? I know Mario can. He went to a Shawn Mendes concert with my daughter this week. I skipped Shawn Mendes concert to come here, you know. And I know, like, he's going to be, you know, he's great. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I am there. And just knowing that I know that, you know, education in school is such a big deal to them. And, you know, it's not cheap keeping me here. So this helps so much. I can't even, like, I can't thank everybody enough.
We love you.
Everybody loves you. All right, so here's what we're gonna do.
For a couple of kids. Yeah? Do you know how much money they raised?
I do not know.
$90,000 so far. So far? There, you're on speaker. No, everybody say hi to Mario. Oh! Yep, Mario.
Oh my God.
I know.
Tell them we'll get all the information.
And we'll get all the information because
you don't know how to turn on a computer.
Poor Mario. All right.
Wow.
I think he just shit his pants. He probably did.
We also got him a large TFW t-shirt.
Hey, Tim, look for me.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, just tell me you got a DJ now. So.
And now I got a DJ because I turned this up last night. All right.
Oh my God. Just thank him so much.
You tell him right now. Go ahead. You're on.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. I can't believe that. I'm speechless right now, and I just can't thank you, everyone enough out there. It takes a big burden off us, but I can't put it into words right now how I feel. That's it.
Woo! All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. See, that guy?
He's got you.
Yeah.
He's got you.